Some education leaders across the Granite State are facing significant budget challenges as they make plans for next school year.
Yeah, districts say they're dealing with a combination of rising costs, declining enrollment, and uncertainty over state funding, leaving many communities to make difficult decisions about things like staffing, programs, even possible school closures.
News 9 Investigates Krista Delkamp takes a closer look at the challenges districts are facing.
The reduction in the budget includes 22, almost 23 full-time employees and the closing of the Maple Street School.
Rochester schools citing the loss of millions in federal and state aid while making tough budget decisions. And they're not alone.
Recently heard that they were possibly cutting some teacher positions also in the Franklin School District.
We have sports and extracurriculars on the table at this point as possible budget cuts.
Franklin Superintendent Dan Lagallo says his district is facing a roughly $2.25 million shortfall, driven largely by inflation.
The simplest answer is the rising healthcare costs. We have over a $500,000 increase in health insurance costs.
News 9 Investigates asked superintendents around the state what's driving the biggest increases in their budgets, and many pointed to surging health care costs as one of the largest year-over-year expenses. Schools are also grappling with higher transportation costs tied to fuel prices, increased special education costs, and pressure to offer more competitive salaries to attract and retain teachers.
Teachers have mortgages just like everyone else. They have student loans just like everyone else. Teachers' salaries are not competitive towards other professions. And that is the reason why we are seeing people leave.
Those are the growing costs that districts are facing. Over on the revenue side, the debate over how New Hampshire funds public education has been going on for decades. The Claremont court cases of the 1990s established that the state is constitutionally obligated to provide an adequate education. But the question over how much the state should pay and how much local taxpayers should shoulder has been one of the most contentious issues in New Hampshire politics.
I think it's tough in certain communities for them to have to fund everything and try to keep up with it all.
Complicating matters further, state education aid is primarily tied to enrollment, and across New Hampshire, the number of K-12 students continues to decline.
You're also seeing state reduction in funding as well that's hurting everybody.
Fewer students, less funding needed. How do you answer to that argument?
I would say that I don't necessarily disagree with that argument. What I would disagree with is the funding was inadequate to begin with. Kids don't always leave the district in a uniform manner that makes it easy to reduce staff.
Elsewhere across the state, Manchester is dealing with a $16 million shortfall. The Jaffrey Ringe School District is considering cutting as many as 16 staff positions. The Newfound District is looking at closing an elementary school. And in Gorham, the district eliminated a 6th grade teacher and cut maintenance and planned projects. Ultimately, Franklin's superintendent says he's hopeful the city and school leaders can reach an agreement to preserve programs knowing what's at stake.
The consequences is the kids lose, and that's what's going to happen. The next generation is going to lose.
Under New Hampshire's education funding system, local property taxes provide the largest share of school funding, meaning communities are responsible for raising much of the money needed to operate their schools. And on town meeting day in March, voters in many New Hampshire communities rejected school budgets, forcing districts to rework spending plans or consider additional cuts.
The price of everything is going up. So to add one more thing when people are already feeling stretched is understandable. The concern ultimately would come down to the children. We want to make sure that every child has an adequate education.
And that was Krista Delkamp reporting. You can find more coverage on these school budget struggles on our website and app.